who work for First Floor Renovations.
Right, which one's Rob, which one's Dan?
I'm Rob.
Rob, OK, and Dan?
Rob and Dan were left nearly £3,000 out of pocket by Assad and Christian. A lot of money for two guys starting a new business.
So this was your first ever job?
Yep.
OK, so it must have almost sent you under, did it?
Very close, yeah, very close.
How does that make you feel? Because you're in the trade, you're obviously good guys.
It's like being hustled, isn't it?
What do you think of these two?
Scum.
Yeah?
Just make my skin crawl, just get right inside me. Scumbags, so it's the only word for it.
In your eyes, who was the boss?
Assad. Assad.
No doubt about that at all?
None at all.
Interestingly, Assad does not dispute that First Floor Renovations owe Rob and Dan money. But these two clearly think that Assad was, and still is, the boss of the company, despite what he told the Mars about being just a salesman.
Back at the house, the Mars are moving out for 2 weeks. Maria's planning a party as soon as they get back home to celebrate their return. So no pressure there then.
Take care, enjoy your 2 weeks off, and we'll see you soon.
We better get started then. First up, knocking down some walls.
What a difference. It makes it a lot easier to visualise how this is going to look. Yeah. And what it really makes me realise is just how essential it is to get that garden done.
Maria's dream was to have a patio leading out onto a beautiful garden. But none of these things are in our budget, so I'm asking John to lend a hand.
I appreciate it's not part of your remit or your budget, but there's so much to do out here. Is there anything you could do that would just sort of help chip away at it a little bit?
No, there's no middle ground. This is a job in itself. We've got 2 weeks to do a massive structural job in there. I've got to say no to out here. There's not a cat in hell's chance.
Well, I'll just have to hope that someone somewhere is willing to help us with it, because I just don't want to leave it like this.
To create Maria's dream, we're going to have to split our resources. John's going to crack on with the build, leaving me to sort out the garden and the patio.
Hi there.
Oh, yeah.
After making a few calls, I find a local gardener, Elliot.
This was going to be a lovely terraced area where they could sort of entertain and, you know, enjoy the garden. And this is what they've ended up with. What do you think? Is it absolutely making you change your mind about wanting to help us?
No, of course not.
Are you sure?
Of course not.
But it's not all good news. Elliot will supply the labour for free, but I'm going to have to supply all the materials.
12 square metres of patio, 4 metres of scalping, 1.5 metres of sharp sand.
Sharp sand, right.
700 bricks.
There's a hell of a lot to get.
55 square metres of turf, 10 small bags.
There's a lot more involved in this than I thought. I'm really quite surprised at just how much material we're going to need. I mean, it's not a straightforward job of just sort of putting out a patio area. I think it's going to take an awful lot of phone calls and an awful lot of help to make this happen.
I'm trying to get to the bottom of who's really responsible for what happened at the Mars. Was it just Christian Lorden, the builder who was actually doing the work, or is Assad Ahmed, the salesman who initially contacted them, just as much to blame? He claims that as a salesman he has no authority to make big decisions at the company. I suspect I might find evidence on the company's house website that may suggest otherwise.
This company was formed in April 2009. They're listed as being registered at an address in Bromley, and the director then was Assad Ahmed.
I knew it. Assad Ahmed is the boss. But I'm shocked to discover for how long.
That's odd, because he only stood as director for exactly 2 months to the day, and then he resigned, and they made Mr. Christian Lorden the director, and still is.
Between them, Assad and First Floor Renovations have 7 CCJs against them, totalling £67,000. But I'm more confused than ever about who's really running the company.
So far, all the paperwork I've seen does seem to indicate that Christian is the boss of First Floor Renovations. But I'll tell you where it gets confusing. I've got subbies now and homeowners all telling me they think Assad is. And it was only a couple of months ago, Assad was telling Wayne and Maria that he was just a salesman for the company. It just doesn't add up.
I'm visiting some homeowners who first contacted us about Asad Ahmed and Christian Lorden a couple of years ago.
Hiya, Cosetta.
Yes.
Dominic. All right.
Cosetta and Kevin Lawler employed First Floor Renovations to build them a single-storey extension back in June 2009, just after Asad resigned as a director of the company.
They were very good at charming the pants off you.
When you say they, are we talking about Christian and
We're talking Christian and Asad turned up here together, introduced your grandmother to them. They were charming at the time.
Charming enough to get in the region of 45 grand out of the couple, including £13,000 for a kitchen that they never received.
How did you pay him?
Paid straight into his bank account.
And who was the cheque made out to?
Asad Ahmed.
What, not to First for Renovations?
No. To into his own account.
You wouldn't have bank statements handy, would you?
I do.
This is exactly the evidence I need. Asad was accepting money for a job into his personal bank account.
Right.
Certainly, in terms of this job, this makes him directly responsible for the work, or lack of it. Cosetta made a video at the time showing just how bad the build was.
That's how they left you?
Yes.
They've done a very good job at destroying things, but nothing has been finished.
When Christian the builder stopped turning up on site, they turned to Asad Ahmed, who claimed there was only 8 grand's worth of work left.
It seemed so nice at the beginning.
And very quickly turns menacing.
And very, very quickly. I was scared
quickly.
of Asad. I really was scared.
What, physically scared?
Yes, he's a big guy. He's a big man, and yes, I was scared.
Despite this intimidating behaviour, Cosetta and Kevin took Asad to court. They successfully won a judgment of around 45 grand, but rather than paying them the money, Asad Ahmed phoned and threatened them.
I phoned the police came round, took a statement, and subsequently the police managed to go round to his address and they issued him with an £80 fine for malicious phone call.
Asad later claimed he pulled off the job due to the Lawlers' behaviour, which ruined his relationship with another client and cost him money. He said he accepted the police fine to avoid having to go to the station.
I mean, I'm shaking even saying this now. The physicality and the threats that man put on my wife and myself, he should be locked up, it should be something.
Kevin and Cosetta eventually agreed a legal settlement for Asad to pay just 15 grand. But after coughing up £5,000 as a gesture of goodwill, Asad stopped paying, as he claims Kevin was seen stalking one of his family's properties, something Kevin denies.
Thank you very much.
I will get my man. No doubt about it.
We look forward to it.
Back then, it seems Asad was at least partly taking responsibility for things going wrong. But later, at the Mars, he wants us to believe it was just Christian who was in charge, and therefore just Christian who was to blame.
The thing is, I don't think Christian Lorden is the top dog. I think they are both in it together. I think Asad is still the brains behind First Renovations.
Coming up, I have some bad news to break to Maria and Wayne.
We had to send the lads home for 3 days, so we're not going to finish this job on time.
And the net closes in on our cowboy duo.
Stand by, Delta.
Blue van, follow the blue van.
This week we're in Surrey, where builder Christian Lorden and salesman Asad Ahmed have destroyed the dreams of Maria and Wayne Marr.
Taking money from people, for me, is just plain stealing.
At the house, gardener Elliot's made a start on the landscaping. But the build hasn't been going so smoothly. The structural steels are finally being put into place, but they've taken 3 days longer than expected to manufacture, and we're behind schedule. A few days later, I'm back to check on progress.
John? Hi. What's happened here? I thought we were going to be a hell of a lot further along than we are now. I mean, I was expecting to see, you know, at least the roof on, the windows in.
At the end of the day, if the steel's not in stock, it's not in stock. There's not what we can do about it. I mean, the bottom line is we can't do anything inside until we get that roof on and watertight.
Because we're working to such short time frames, those kind of delays have a massive impact.
I cannot see us getting up 3 days back.
What a disaster. The delay has meant that we haven't been able to get the house watertight or even make a start on the inside. And it's not looking likely that Maria's going to be having that party at the end of the week.
I think it would probably be wise to postpone the party for Friday.
Okay.
All right then, Maria. Thank you. Bye-bye. I can hear the disappointment in her voice, and I just hate having to deliver news like that.
I'm on the trail of cowboy builder Christian Lorden and his on and off business partner Assad Ahmed.
I've got a problem with these two, and I'll tell you what it is. Firstly, Christian seems to have disappeared, and even Assad claims he can't get hold of him. Secondly, Assad is making out he is just a sales guy.
But I suspect this is just a ploy so they could walk away from the Mars job with a lot more money than the value of the work done, leaving no one around to carry the can.
Now, I'm hearing from subbies and homeowners that they all think Assad is involved with running this company, or he is the boss. What I need now is cast iron proof that, at the very least, Assad is still involved with the running of this company.
And to get that proof, I'm trying my luck at their most recent business address.
First Renovations are registered at address just round this corner here, so I'm literally going to roll up there and see what's there.
But going in is a real risk.
Here, look. First Renovations, top floor. This could be interesting because they could actually be there.
I could walk in on two very unfriendly cowboys.
Oh, hi. Is the boss around at all?
Yes.
Hi there, Debbie, yeah?
Hello.
Debbie, you the boss?
Well, not the boss, but I work here, yeah.
OK, my name's Dominic.
Well, this definitely isn't Assad Ahmed or Christian Lorden. In fact, Debbie tells me that First 4 Renovations left here in a hurry a few months ago without paying their rent.
Came in one night, so I hear, and took all their computers and vanished. That's it.
And when you say they, can you remember who it was who rented this office?
Two guys.
Yeah.
One called Christian.
Yeah.
And the other one...
Assad?
Assad, that's it, yeah.
They might have disappeared in a rush, but they didn't take everything with them.
Struth. Crikey. Mail shots.
There's all sorts of company paperwork here. Bills, invoices, contracts.
Terry Scott. I've met Terry Scott.
I need to go through this lot with a fine-tooth comb, but somewhere in here is surely the evidence I need.
I would like to thank Assad and Christian for basically all this, because they've just given me a huge piece of the jigsaw puzzle, and I wish all cowboy builders were as stupid as them. Make my job really, really easy.
Back at the house, we're 2 weeks in. Because of the delay with the steels, it's all hands on deck. We've got to do all that we can to get this build back on track.
Go on the first work.
Okay.
On the steel, yeah?
Yeah. OK, see?
OK, another one?
Yep.
Really there?
I'm trying to prove that Assad Ahmed is more than just a sales guy for First 4 Renovations. Unluckily for him, but luckily for me, I've got a bin bag full of paperwork from his old business address that he never thought would see the light of day.
I've got so much stuff here. Where do you start?
I'm looking for more evidence that Assad was still running the company after June 2009, when he resigned as director. And after a couple of hours, I think I've hit the jackpot.
I've got checkbooks here with his name in it.
Assad signed this company cheque in January 2010, a full 7 months after he resigned as company director. And there's more.
Paying in slips. Business cards here. Managing director. Christian on this one, director.
On top of that, there are plenty of documents that show that Assad wasn't just involved in sales. He